Hello everybody, today I'm going to give you a brief tutorial of Brackets Editor. Brackets Editor is an open source text editor that can help us do website design. We can use it to write some code for your HTML, CSS and JavaScript and even more languages that you can imagine. If you want to install Brackets, the way is quite easy. You can simply go to the website here, brackets.io, and on the first page of this website, you can see a button that tells you to download the latest version of Brackets. And since I'm using Ubuntu, I can also install Brackets from the Ubuntu software repository. I can also search for Brackets. Okay, this one. This one is also the same as the file that you can download at the official website. So let me click on it. And I click on install. And I have to wait for some time. Okay, the Brackets editor is already installed for me by the Ubuntu software repository. If you are a user of other operating systems, you can simply click on that button to download the Brackets version that is appropriate to your operating system. You can also click on the other downloads link that would let you know the other versions of Brackets that can be installed on your particular operating system. Okay. So if I want to launch the Brackets, I can simply click launch. Okay. This is the page that tells you some kind of getting started materials. If you want to play with the website that is created from this HTML document, I can simply click on the live preview button on the right hand side of the window. And I click on OK. In this case, if you have already installed the Chrome browser, you're able to see the result coming from the HTML file given on the left-hand side of my screen. Okay, so this is known as the live preview capability of Brackets, which is something very useful for web developers. The power of the live preview page is that when I simply change something on the HTML document, the change can be reflected immediately on the live preview window. So suppose I want to change some spelling of this word getting, which is simply here, and I add one F here. I can see that my live preview window is also having one extra F that I created previously. I didn't press any save button, or I didn't even reload the web page on the live preview window, but the corresponding change can be reflected immediately. So this is the power of live preview feature of Brackets that I think will help us evaluate our progress of our web design. Now I can go to the operation of the Brackets editor. So now I can create a new file first. Okay, and I want to save this file to my directory that stores my HTML file, CSS file, and JavaScript file. Save as. this one. Okay, this places the file that I'm going to store my web page design files. So I can call this one index.html, which is the file for my HTML document. Save. When I create a file, I will have the path of that file on the very top of my window. Okay. Now you can see that the font size is quite small, so I can make the font a bit larger. How can I do that? I can click on the View menu. I can see that there is a choice called Increase Font Size. I can also press Ctrl plus the plus sign to increase the font size. So I can make use of the shortcut key here to increase the font size. So let me try to add more rows. Okay. For example, I want about 20 rows. Then I click on the Ctrl plus the plus sign. So I can see that I can create about 20 rows with this font size. So this is my ideal font size, and I can continue my coding. So let me try to generate a simple HTML file to demonstrate the use of the editor for the brackets environment. This is the very first line of an HTML document to declare the file type of this HTML file for the browser to understand your document nature. I can continue my second line. So you can see that the auto-completion feature is prepared for us. So when I press enter, I'm able to finish my opening tag. And when I add the closing angle bracket, we can see that the closing tag can also be prepared for us. So I simply do the other part. I want to do the head. And for the head, I want to have a title of the web page. And after the title, I would like to add some metadata for my web page. So you can see that the auto-completion feature is quite useful for us. I want to close the meta tag by using the / followed by the closing angle bracket. And I'm going to use a simple CSS file to style my web page. So I need to give a link to this CSS file first. So this CSS _demo.css file will be prepared later, after I finish the basic setup of my HTML web page. So now I can go to the body of my web page. I want to set up my heading first, and the ID for that header is called test. I want to have some cursor action on my heading, so I need to create my JavaScript file that tells the website how to handle the cursor events. So this is the two functions that I'm going to make on my JavaScript file. And after the heading, I would like to add a simple paragraph. This is line 1 of my paragraph. I can copy the sentence and I can use the copy and paste action to create 2 more lines. So I just need to change the numbers to 2 and 3 respectively. And I'm going to show you one feature of brackets, which is the multiple selection feature. If I want to add the word number between line and the number, I'm able to do so for all the 3 lines altogether. How can I do that? I can hold the alternate key on the keyboard, and when I hold on the alternate key, I move my cursor by pressing the mouse button. When I drag the cursor, I'm able to select all 3 lines together, and the 3 lines would have the same cursor position on the corresponding line position. Okay. So you can see that when I add the word number on one line, I'm able to do so on the other 2 lines as well. So this is the power of the multiple selection of a number of lines by using the alternate key together with the selection of using the mouse cursor. Okay. Since I'm going to use a JavaScript file to demonstrate the brackets functionality, I need to set up my source file for my script. Okay, this completes my very first HTML file, so now I can save it. Save. And then I can create my CSS file by pressing New and Save As. The file name is simply css_demo.css, which is the same as the file shown here. Okay. When we want to focus on our current folder, we can do something like this. Click on Getting Started key, and we can go to the Open Folder option, and then we go to the folder that we are focusing on, and then we click on Open. So in this case, we can see that the file tree is already changed to the folder that I'm focusing on, and I can click on both files that are stored inside this particular folder. Okay, so I can go back to the CSS file. Okay, my CSS file is quite simple. I want to change the background color to light pink for my heading 1. And for the paragraph, I would like to change it to orange. So let me save it. And then I can go back to the third file that focuses on the JavaScript component, which is also very simple. Let me save it first. The file name for that one should be this one. So now I can do the JavaScript part as follows. I defined two methods called mouse over and mouse out. So the first line in my JavaScript file is simply this instruction to tell the linting functionality provided by brackets to notice that I'm going to run the JavaScript on a browser. So now I'm going to set up my function. I would add the line called use strict to avoid many of the warnings from the ESLint feature of brackets. So when the mouse is already on top of the heading, I would like to change the color of the words to red from the original color to the red color. And for the mouse out function, I will do similar things. When the mouse is already leaving the words on the heading, I'm able to change the words to blue color. So this test thing refers to the ID for my heading, one on the index.html file. If we want to show two or files together, we can have a functionality like this. Fill horizontal split. So in this case, we can show two files together. And the second one, when I click on the CSS file, I'm able to show the CSS file on the lower part of the editor environment. So when I try to see the information about the syntax here, I can do something like this. I can press Ctrl and then E. I will see the quick edit functionality of brackets. So if I do something like this on H1, Ctrl E, I'm able to get back the rule of my CSS file immediately. So in this situation, I don't always need to make some changes on the CSS file directly. I can do so by using the quick edit feature of brackets. So in this case, I can simply go to the component of the CSS file that corresponds to the H1 element on my index.html file. Another feature is like this. I can choose a certain element, and then I can press Ctrl plus K. So in this case, we can see that there is no quick documents available for the position shown on my cursor. How about this one? Yes, for P, I'm able to see the document about the description of P. P simply means a paragraph of text. So we can always check the meaning of our text by using the Control K shortcut keys. Okay. So let me close it. I forgot to do something here. You can see that the ESLint code checking has told me that I was unable to pass the test of the linting because I haven't used the mouse over and mouse out methods that I created. How can I improve the situation? I simply do something like this. I simply add the two functions at the end of the JavaScript file. So let me save it. And after saving, the two errors are gone. That means my code now can pass the linting feature provided by brackets. Okay. So let me try to go back to the HTML file, and then I can press the Live Preview button on the far right hand side of the window. Yes, this is the result. I'm able to reduce the size of the windows to show some more clearer explanation. So when I click on the corresponding component or elements on my file on the left hand side, it is possible that we will see the blinking element on the live preview window. That means we can locate the corresponding element quite quickly. So we can see the effect of the JavaScript code here. When I put the mouse on top of the heading words, the color can be changed to red as expected. And when I leave the cursor, I will get the color back to blue. So this is the action controlled by my JavaScript file. Okay. So this web page is able to help me illustrate the basic functions of brackets. And let me show you again the live preview editing ability. When I simply want to change the content inside the HTML file, I'm able to see the effect immediately on the live preview window. So you see, I added a small letter f here on the HTML file. I'm able to reflect the change immediately without even saving the HTML file or even reloading the live preview window. Okay. Same for my JavaScript file. If I change the mouse over action from red to other colors like green, let me save it. Then after the saving action of my JavaScript file, I'm able to see the changed effect of my mouse over action. Okay, this requires saving, but for the HTML stuff, we don't need to save the thing before we see the effect immediately. Okay, so this completes the action of introducing the bracket text editor for web editing. This is the end of the video. If you have any questions about my video, feel free to leave your comments on the comment section below the video. If you like this video, please give me a like and please subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching.